I read a quote once that said, "A journey away from something is a vacation, and a journey to something is an expedition." I'm on the first step of my expedition for this summer in Badlands National Park, where I'll spend a couple days. My final destination being Alaska before I return home. It's my first time in Badlands National Park. I've had a couple days to look around, get a few photos, landscape and wildlife. And it's an often said cliche maybe, it's a place like none other I've seen before. And the way that nature is beautiful, it's beautiful, but it isn't always pretty. The rock formations are a result of hundreds of thousands of years of erosion. And some of it is pretty, all of it is beautiful with the layering, the different colors. During the middle of the day, it's very harsh here, and the sun is not gentle on the colors or the formations. But at sunset and sunrise, it is quite pretty. The formations themselves are not granite, they're not hard by any means. They're constantly eroding. As I found out this morning after a rain last night, I was walking on I was going to walk up to one of the ridges for some photos, and it was extremely thick and slippery. It was like a clay. So it looks like most of it that I have seen, from what I have seen, is a little loose sand, clay. It's more of a sediment than a rock, which I guess is why it erodes so quickly and why it has formed the way that it has. But anyway, every expedition takes a few steps. Spending a couple days in Badlands National Parks are my first steps on this summer of 2023's expedition. Good morning in Badlands National Park. Out for some morning shots. I've got this lined up right now. A little windy, so I'm going to probably get a little bit of blur on these, what are these, goldenrods in the foreground. But got this composition set up with these formations in the back and a few of them in the front. Adds a little bit of depth to it. Got some nice shadows going through it as well, so hopefully the textures turn out nice. But let me get a few shots in here and see what we can play around with. Stopped right in here. It's a prairie dog village, town, whatever, right in here. And I saw a burrowing owl. I got a couple photos of it. At least I think it's a burrowing owl. Gonna sit here for a few minutes, see if it comes back. And get some more photos of it, maybe get some video of it. And probably photograph a couple of these prairie dogs as well while I'm here. Be hard to see here, but there's a beautiful ram just sitting on the ledge over there. See if I can zoom in a little bit on this. I'll get it with my telephoto in a second. A couple females down below on the ledge. Saw them earlier this morning, and then I was driving back through the park heading west and saw them again. Just in a gorgeous location for the ram. Drove by this location earlier before. Love the colors. So really trying to capture those colors and keep some balance in the composition as well. Got a Tamron 28-75 lens on. Trying to get the composition. I try to get rid of this stuff in the foreground. It does nothing for me. Let's get those beautiful yellows, reds. Some tans and whites in the back. Nothing going on with the sky, so I'll limit that. I'm going to move down over here. I think if I move down this way a little bit more, be able to see a little bit more of the valley. Get a little bit more color on the left side. See if I can balance the composition a little bit better. I think I'll get out on that. F11 1/60 ISO 100. 5-second timer. See how that looks. This ground's just super soft. Just slowly eroding away. All right, I think that's it for this spot. So I've talked about before, 3 key elements: art, nature, technology. So the nature out here, as you can tell, quite unique. So I'm trying to capture what's unique about it. The erosion patterns, the colors, the textures. It's just unlike anything else. I mean, you look at that and it looks like a mountain range. Well, it's almost like it's sand castles that have eroded. So it's very unique. So that's what I'm trying to capture as far as the art. It's also blazing hot. So a sense of that, which, the harsh light helps with that. Not the best for photography, but we'll see what I can process to get that feeling. I definitely feel it as I'm taking the photo, and that's what I'm trying to capture. So then the art of it, trying to get those compositions right, trying to get a balanced composition, trying to get the settings right, get it in focus, some of the standard elements of composition. Using your camera the best you can, the technology side of it, to capture those. Like I said, I put on a polarizer for a couple shots, took a couple without it. Polarizer, definitely, it's a little hazy in here. It helped cut some of that down. Should make definitely the green a little bit more vibrant, as that sun is just beating down on us. So trying to balance those three, but the most important part is definitely the art. What do you have in mind? The nature, what is it? What is the subject? And this subject is like no other. I guess you could say that about all of them, but you know, after a while, waterfalls are waterfalls. They're all unique, but very similar in the way that you approach a waterfall. Mountain ranges are mountain ranges as well. Depends on, you know, foreground elements and whatever's unique about a particular mountain range or the details within a mountain range that you're trying to capture. But this is unique. So I think that's one of the other things to always consider too when you're out photographing is, you know, get out there. It's good to explore your own area and practice in your own area. But by all means, get out there and photograph other things. Photograph locations you haven't photographed before. Photograph animals if you don't typically photograph wildlife. You just learn so much more every time that you grow and, you know, test yourself with photography on something that you haven't photographed before. At least that's my belief. It's always good, of course, just to get out there, experience new things. I've never been here before to Badlands, my first trip. So trying to photograph it's been a bit of a challenge, but I think that'd be good for me to figure out what inspires me on this location and what can I learn from that inspiration and what can I learn from getting these photographs. So anyway, rambling on a bit. Going to head up the road a little bit, see if there's anything else to get at sunset, and drink me some water. Thanks for listening. So thanks again for joining in on this video. As I said, it's my first step on my journey for this summer heading to Alaska. So I'll be posting videos along the way, shorts as well. Subscribe, like, comment, stay posted in my travels for this expedition. Don't forget, get outside.